I guess we're on. Hi, everyone. This is Tari here in my home studio in my basement. It is a lovely, lovely space. It is here in Stowe, Vermont. And wherever you are, I hope that you have found a place, a spot in your home, wherever it may be, that is comfortable and quiet and gives you a little space and time away from your normal routine, whatever that might be. Finding a space is really important. And it is not only are these unfamiliar times, but we are fitting them into a familiar place. So that should provide some comfort. In addition, we are bringing yoga in an unfamiliar way into our familiar space. Now, I don't know about you, but I have a fairly strong home practice. So I worked out all of that way of coming into my space and doing yoga. But there are many of us who are not familiar, and we like to go to the studio or wherever you do your yoga4cancer practice. So we are here, why? We are here to bring us together as a yoga4cancer community to continue doing the yoga that we love. And in doing so, the yoga that we love uses lots of props. And I have going to make some quick suggestions now, but I have detailed these in a video and other things. If you're in your home and creating your first home studio, you may not have all of the classic yoga props, like the nice bolster I'm sitting on, like these nice blocks that we use in the studios, or the lovely yoga blankets. So what can you do to substitute for that? I just want to let you know that I got very creative in making yoga blocks yesterday. How many of you have old CD covers? It only takes 6 of them taped together to make the same size and shape as a yoga block. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So that is what I'm going to suggest you can do at home. You can also use books. If you can see back here, I made a block tower out of books taped together and then some CD covers on top. One of my CD blocks I covered in an old sheet just so that it would look more like a block rather than CDs. So sitting tall on your bolster, propping up your thighs, not your knees, but your thighs, and sitting well. That's where we begin every yoga4cancer class, to sit well. So what brings us together? Yoga brings us together. I have a mantra that says, cancer takes your breath away. Yoga gives it back. And in these times, right now, another big C may be taking your breath away. So coming together in yoga to breathe. That is where we find community. That is where we find peace, calmness, and comfort. So let's take a moment to focus on our breath. Sitting tall, lifting the crown of the head, letting your collarbones get broad, and then bring your hands out to the side. So we're going to do a very, very simple breathing exercise. It is a breath that brings us together. Turning your palms up towards the ceiling, maybe that allows the spine to get a little longer, a little taller. And as you breathe in, let your fingers stretch out. And as you breathe out, as you let go of that breath, let them curl inward. The inhale expands the chest, allows the breath around us, air around us, to come into our lungs. The exhale is how we stay strong, both inside our bodies, inside our minds, and inside our homes. Inhale and expand. And exhaling, folding inward. Inhale, expand. And exhale, coming in. So now I'm going to bring my hands down for one moment before we start our first warm-up arm vinyasa. I am in my home studio, and my good assistant friend and buddy, Dale, is in New Hampshire in her home studio. So I want you to watch and follow Dale as she goes through this Yoga for Cancer class. We are here together to form community. We are here together to do yoga. So as you sit tall, turn the palms up towards the ceiling as you breathe in. Exhale, form your little fingers inward. This time as you inhale, open the fingers up towards the ceiling into what we call goalpost or cactus arms. And as you exhale, instead of holding your fingers together, bring your forearms and palms together in front of your chest. With an in-breath, open the chest, open your cactus arms, and slightly lift your gaze towards the ceiling. As you exhale, moving with the breath, bring your forearms and palms together and slightly dip them towards your navel. Inhale, open into cactus arms. And with an exhale, bring your right hand down and your left hand behind your head, holding onto your skull. Inhale, lift that left elbow up. And as you exhale, side bending over to the right. Inhale, back to cactus arms. As you exhale, bring the left hand down now and tuck the right hand behind your head. Inhale, lift that left elbow up. And exhale, side bending over to right. Inhale, back to cactus arms. And we'll take our twist. As you exhale, bring your right hand over and watch as you touch your left hand. Inhale, back to center. And exhale, right as you watch your hand. Inhale, back to center. And as you exhale, gather your fingers together and bring your palms down towards the floor. Inhale, lift the palms, lift the arms up into your cactus pose. And as you exhale, bring the forearms and palms together. Inhale, open the chest, open your goalpost arms and look slightly up towards the ceiling. We'll take the back bend now as we exhale and come into a forward bend. Inhale, back to goalpost. And as you exhale, left hand down, right hand to the back of your skull. Inhale, lift the right elbow. Exhale, side bend over to the left. Inhale, goalpost. Exhale, right hand down, left to the back of the skull. Inhale, lifting the left elbow. Exhale, side bending right. Inhale, back to goalpost. And we'll do the fifth way to move the spine. Twisting first, right hand to left as you exhale. Follow that hand. But the in-breath brings you back to center. And the exhale brings your hand to the right side. Inhale, back to center. And as you exhale, bring your palms down towards the floor. Last one, but first, switch the crossing of your legs. And let's move a little bit more quickly. Turn the palms out as you inhale and lift the arms up into cactus. As you exhale, palms and elbows together. Inhale into your back bend. Exhale into your forward. Inhale, open out to cactus. And we will first side bend. Left hand down, right elbow up. Inhale. Exhale, side bending left. Inhale, cactus. Exhale, right hand down, left to the back of the head. lengthen, and then on the exhale, side bending to the right. Inhale back to center and goalpost. Exhaling, twisting to the left, following your hand. Inhale to center, and exhale, twisting, following your hand. Inhale back to center, and as you exhale, bring your hands down onto your knees, stretch your legs all the way out in front of you, reach through those heels, maybe massage them just a little bit before we transition onto our hands and knees. So if you have a blanket there, it doesn't need to be a special yoga blanket, it could be any blanket at all. I'll let you all have your time getting onto your hands and knees. And while you do so, I'm just going to say a few words about that warm-up arm vinyasa. It's designed to keep the spine healthy. If we are going to breathe and breathe properly and let that breath nurture us and also comfort us, we need to have an open, strong spine to hold those lungs up so that there is a way for this chest to expand. There Dale is on her hands and knees. Her knees are right underneath her hips and her wrists are right underneath her shoulders. And we're moving with the breath. That is what brings us here, our breath. As we inhale, we lift the tailbone and the heart comes forward. So it's more what's happening in the chest than it is where that head goes. As you exhale, rounding the spine, pulling the navel up towards the front of that spine. Very simple like that. 2 more times. Inhale, chest broadens, bring the shoulder blades broad, not up towards your ears, but broad. Exhaling, arching the spine. And that exhale works that diaphragm to pump the thoracic duct, which is moving lymph. Inhale, 1 more, simple cat and cow. Chest is what leads the heart forward. And the exhale rounds the spine into our cat pose. And then Dale is going to bring her body into a flat back. So there is not an arching one way or the other, nice and flat. She's looking towards the floor, but not down at the floor, just sort of in front of her. And we're going to do leg extensions. On an inhale, keep the spine nice and long and bring your right leg back behind you, keeping the toes tucked on the floor. Now, let's stay here and do some breathing. So that will give us another place to work with the breath. As you inhale, again, heart goes forward and that right heel goes back behind you. As you exhale, keep the leg where it is and lift the belly up into the front of the spine. 1 more. Inhale, reach back with the heel and forward with the heart. And as you exhale, let the belly lift right up into the front of the spine. And then gently bring your knees together. Using the in-breath, moving with the breath. Now, you're going to take the left leg back behind you, keeping the toes tucked under, looking straight forward with the eyes, not up. On an inhale, push back with that left heel and let the shoulder blades broaden slightly. As you exhale, a little bit of that cat feeling as the navel floats up towards the front of the spine. So again, where we're moving the diaphragm to move lymph. Inhale as we stretch back with that left heel and forward with our heart. And the exhale, again, is a pumping of lymph from this position. We're moving muscles, though, and making them as strong at the same time. Bring your right knee and left knee together. Checking to see that your wrists, again, are underneath your shoulders and your knees are right underneath your hips. We're going to move into a twist, which is one of the ways we keep the spine strong and healthy, but it starts with a nice flat spine. On an inhale, bring the right arm, well, let's start with the left, Dale. Bring the left arm out of the shoulder, parallel to the floor. Good. Exhale here, getting that feeling of the navel engaging to the front of the spine. And then either tuck that left hand behind your head or reach that left arm up towards the ceiling as you inhale again. Look and make sure you're seeing that left hand. Don't let it go drifting back behind you. Now, from here, you're going to exhale and point that left elbow down towards the floor. Just point it down. Good. Working with the breath. The inhale, like our fingers, expands and opens the chest. And the exhale pulls everything together inside where we are cozy and warm. Inhale, opening up the chest, breathing, letting that expansion draw air into the lungs. And the exhale releases as the lungs begin to naturally relax. One more. Inhale and exhale. This time, bring the left hand down onto the floor. So let's start on the right side. The first in-breath brings that right arm out of the right shoulder, parallel to the floor. Exhale here. And then another in-breath lifts it up towards the ceiling or takes that right hand back behind your head. Finding your exhale that follows that inhale, point it down towards the floor. Inhale, lifting, opening, feeling those shoulder blades on your back, creating range of motion here. And as you exhale, pointing it down towards the floor. Pumping lymph and moving our chest in both directions, open. And as we exhale, folding over into a little ball. We'll do this last one to open up the chest. And then as you exhale, bring that right hand down onto the floor. Okay, so from here, we're going to find our blocks and looks like Dale has 2 blocks on the high side, and she is going to bring them underneath her shoulders if she can. She might walk her knees just a little bit further in towards the blocks. Okay, good. So those shoulders, we want them right underneath the, right over the wrists. So we'll start again with the left side, Dale, so people can see what you're doing. On an inhale, she's going to take the left leg back behind her, keeping the toes tucked under. What happens? The heart goes forward, the left heel goes back. That's an inhale. And then as slow as possible, she's working with the exhale as she brings that left foot forward between the blocks. Now, if your left foot doesn't get there very easily, maybe you need another pair of blocks. Maybe you need to build your block tire up a little higher. From here, we're going to do that same movement of bringing the chest and heart forward and the left knee just slightly forward of the left ankle. Using your out breath to draw the left hip back, straightening the left leg as much as possible. Now, we don't need to do a runner stretch. What we want to do is just feel an increase of pressure on that left hip. The inhale brings you forward, as far forward as is comfortable for you. That's beautiful, Dale. I can't go that far forward. And the exhale straightens that left leg as much as possible. Now, inhale again. And in that inhale, what Dale is demonstrating here beautifully, except you can't see from her hair, is her heart is in front of her nose. There you go. So here's where we want our heart to be all the time. Looking forward, heart in front of nose is very important to the Yoga for Cancer methodology. As she exhales, she releases that left hip and brings it back, creating also a squeeze and soak flow of lymph. Now come to neutral, Dale, and then bring both knees together. On an in-breath, take the right leg back behind you. It's another way we put our heart in front of our nose. As you exhale, slowly as you possibly can, bring that right foot forward between the blocks. There's another thing here too. The foot is always between those blocks or block towers. Inhale, the right knee comes slightly forward. Doesn't matter how far, but the heart is in front of the nose. And the exhale tightens that right hip as the right leg stretches as much as possible. 2 more like that. The in-breath brings us forward, heart in front of the nose. Exhale, coming back. 1 more on your breath, coming forward. Exhale and bringing it back. Now this time as you come forward on your inhale, make it to that neutral place where your right knee is right over your right heel. And here, tuck your left toes under. Keep your right leg the way it is, but use the in-breath to reach back with that left heel and straighten that left leg as much as possible. Inhale, 1 more breath here, reaching forward with the heart and back with the left heel. As you exhale, straighten that right leg. Good. Inhale, bring that right knee forward as far as possible. Exhale, and it straightens, drawing that right hip back. We'll do 2 more like that. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, straightening. Inhale, come forward with the right knee to neutral this time. And as you exhale, bring the left knee down onto the floor. Bring both knees together. And we'll set up to do this high seesaw lunge on the opposite side. So it starts with an inhale to bring that left leg back behind you. And then as you exhale, the left foot comes forward between the blocks. Tucking the right toes under, use an in-breath to just move that right leg as the right heel goes back. Inhale again, a little bit further forward with that left knee as you bring the heart in front of the nose, stretching. As you exhale, a nice stretch in that left leg. 2 more like that. Inhale, coming forward. And exhale, drawing it back. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, draw it back. This next in-breath, bring the left knee forward, look forward, keep it in neutral. And now that was an inhale. If you aren't on an inhale, get an inhale, because we're going to use the exhale to bring the right foot forward, using the power of the out breath to bring you forward. And then inhaling, pushing down into your heels, bringing the arms up and out, all the way up to stand, to what we call stand tall. Exhale, arms onto either side. So Dale's going to stay here, and I would suggest you all stay in the same sort of position you are between your blocks, and do what we call the block test. Nothing has moved. Her feet are in between the blocks. The blocks haven't moved. But what she's going to do is reach her arms straight up towards the ceiling, inhaling. And then slowly exhale, bring the arms down as she bends the knees, and see if her heart is still in front of her nose as she touches the blocks. Yeah, just about. I don't know, Dale, I can't quite see your hands. Are they touching the block? Maybe, no. Ah, she's putting the block up. Okay, she's increasing her block tower. Good. So she is in this chair position. Heart is in front of nose. Let's do that 1 more time. Push into your heels. Inhale, bring your arms all the way up. And the next one, as you exhale, bringing the arms down, bending the knees onto your block towers. Heart in front of nose. With your next in-breath, let's take the right leg back behind you. Use an exhale to bring the right knee to the floor. And an in-breath to sweep the arms out and up, saluting that sun. There's some things we can depend upon. It comes up every morning. And as you exhale, bring the arms down onto the blocks. Let the inhale lengthen that right leg, and use that powerful exhale to bring that right foot forward. Drop your hips, lift your heart. Inhale, flying up to tall stand. And exhale, go right back down again, bending your knees, hands to blocks. Inhale, bring the left leg back. Exhale, bring the left knee to the floor. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. saluting the sun, and as you exhale, arms down onto either side. Now tuck those left toes under, inhale, lengthen that left leg. Lots of strength and power coming from this pose, but on the exhale, bring both feet together. Drop the hips, lift your heart, swing your arms out to the side, and stand tall. Okay, arms down onto your side. So we're going to use this step back now to come into our bone building poses as well as our strengthening poses. We're going to start with Warrior One. On an inhale, rotate your arms out and up. Bending the knees as you exhale, keeping your heart in front of your nose, hands to blocks. Inhale, take your right leg back behind you. Exhale, turn the right heel to a 45-degree angle so the toes point slightly forward. On an inhale, climb both your hands onto your left thigh and bring your torso up nice and tall. Good. Staying here, nice and strong. On an in-breath, let the right arm come straight forward and out and help lift the chest just a little bit higher. As you exhale, deepen that left groin, deepen the left thigh, and exhale. Then maybe your next in-breath, you feel strong enough that the left arm can come up on an inhale. Good. Now, as you exhale, we're going to add a little vinyasa in here. We're going to exhale and bring both arms down and straighten that left leg. Inhale, reach that left knee forward, arms up. Strong legs here, moving the cardiovascular system. Exhale, arms down onto either side. We're working up some heat in the body. Inhale, one more like that. Thank you, Dale. Beautiful. Now this time, as you exhale and bring the arms and straighten the legs. Next in breath, bring both arms up and bend the left knee. This exhale, you're going to bring the arms down onto your block towers. Lift the in-breath, lift the right heel, and the out-breath finds you coming forward into your chair pose, heart in front of nose. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. And exhale, let's take one breath in Tadasana. That was a beautiful vinyasa with our Warrior One. Circle the arms out and up. And deep bend in the knees as the heart stays in front of the nose and hands come to blocks. The in-breath brings the left leg back this time, turning the left heel to the floor. And then using an in-breath to lift the chest, heart in front of nose, climb your hands onto your right thigh. Exhale here, feel the abdominal muscles work as you press down in your magic button on that right thigh. Use your next in-breath to lift the left arm straight out and out of the shoulder, letting the heart rise just a little bit more. Exhale again, press down in that magic button. Then the next in-breath allows that right arm to float up and join the left arm, Warrior One. That was an inhale, so we're going to use the exhale to straighten the right leg, arms down onto either side. We'll do this 3 times. Inhale, deep bend in the right leg, arms up. Exhale, that's the power tool. That's what's really building muscle and bones here. Inhale again, arms up. And exhale, arms down, straighten that right leg. In-breath brings you into Warrior One. And the out-breath this time brings you back onto your towers. Another in-breath to lift that left heel. And the out-breath, remember the out-breath is a power tool that brings that left foot forward, heart in front of nose. And inhale, standing all the way up. Exhale, one breath in Tadasana. All right, so we're moving on to another bone building, strength building pose we call pyramid pose. And we'll go from our block towers, we'll take a step back to get into pyramid pose. So standing between your blocks, Let's inhale and sweep the arms up. Bend in the knees. Exhale, heart in front of nose, hands to blocks. Inhale, let's start with the right leg. Take the right leg back a comfortable distance, maybe a little shorter than what you did for warrior one. Turn the heel down, toes pointing slightly forward. And then straighten your left leg on an exhale. Good. So placing both hands on your hips. Inhale and lift your torso up. So you have your torso balanced on top of this pyramid. Nice pyramid that we have here. Okay, good. So what we're going to do here is a lymphatic massage as we practice moving and breathing. So linking the breath with movement and massaging the lymph system in our lower torso. As you inhale, sweep the arms out and up. As you exhale, keep your strong legs really straight and come as far forward as you can, keeping the spine in one long line. Doesn't matter how far, but don't round it. Keep it in one long line. Now place your hands on your thigh or on your shin, wherever it comes. She can get to her thighs, or her shins. That's really good. Thank you, Dale. Now, inhale and slide with a little bit of texture. Slide with a little bit of pressure all the way up through your side body and up towards the ceiling. That was an inhale. Now she's going to come forward again on the exhale. And then sliding, 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 moving. It is amazing how much lymph will move with the slightest little bit of touch. And exhaling, coming forward again. Sliding the lymph up the leg and into and towards that thoracic duct in your chest. And then up towards the ceiling. This time as you exhale, Dale, bring your hands down onto your blocks. Put a little bend in that left knee. And then as you exhale, bring both feet together. Drop your hips, lift your heart, and fly all the way up. Okay, lymphatic massage is another one of the very key elements of this methodology, which is really good. And, you know, it's not just good for those who are dealing with lymphedema. It also can be very important with other, well, you know what? When I sit at my desk all day, I get my ankles get swollen, and so this helps me too. So it doesn't just apply to a side effect like lymphedema from cancer treatments. All right, other side. Inhale, sweep those arms up. Deep bend in the knees. Exhale, hands to block towers. In breath takes the left leg back. Maybe a little bit less than what you did for warrior one. And use an out breath now to straighten that right leg. Bringing both hands onto your hips to stack your torso on top of that pyramid. Good. So we're going to massage our legs, starting with an in-breath to lift the arms out and up, filling the chest. Now, as we exhale, we slowly draw that diaphragm up towards the heart, emptying the lungs and also drawing the lymph into the thoracic duct. The inhale slides with tactile movement along the legs, lifting the arms, and the exhale lets the chest and whole torso come forward as the diaphragm travels towards the heart. The in-breath sort of moves the lymph as well as the hands. And last one, all the way forward onto the blocks. Okay, so little bend in the right knee, inhale, and as you exhale, bring that left foot forward to join it. Drop your hips, lift your heart, inhale, fly up, and exhale, one breath into Tadasana. So we're going to now do a one leg balance. I'm going to try and make it as simple as possible and also add in a little breathing pranayama element to it. And yeah, Dale might want to turn forward so she can see us, but it doesn't matter. You can face whatever direction you want. You can also do this on a block if you want, but I think Dale is going to just use her feet on the floor, right? Okay, so we're going to create a one-legged balance. Some people might want the wall too. Looks like Dale's wall is pretty close by if she needed to grab it. Okay, so let's start with the left leg. I don't know why, other than I think that my right leg is stronger, so I always start with the left side. So bend that right knee in towards the chest as much as you possibly can. You can hold on to the wall or hold on to the underneath of the left thigh with both hands, wherever you are comfortable, just getting that left leg up off the floor. And then here's the deal. It's all about the breath. It's the breath that is going to move the lymph. It's the breath that is going to help us build bone by keeping us on that right leg for at least 30 seconds. So on an inhale, you're going to bend the right knee, just slightly. On an exhale, you're going to straighten it. So it's that exhale again that's making the muscles of the right leg strong and moving lymph. Inhale, bend again. Exhale and straighten. So you're moving muscle and you're moving lymph. Inhale, it bends. Exhale, it straightens. And then maybe what we want to do is bring that left leg down and do it on the right side. Building bone and muscle now as we breathe. The breath and movement is what we are here to do. This is what brings us together. Right leg up now. Okay, either hold on to the wall. You can try doing it with both hands on your hips. On an in-breath, a slight bend in that left leg. Exhale and straighten. Did I get that wrong? It's the right leg. Inhale, bend the left. Exhale and straighten. Inhale, bend. And the exhale brings those muscles tight into the bone as we come up straight and tall. The exhale also moves the diaphragm towards the thoracic duct. Oh yeah, and just keep going there, Dale. That's looking good. And then come to stand, back to the block towers, feet between the block towers. We're going to go down onto the floor and do some things supine. So let's use our step back. It's so important and so helpful. As you inhale, arms circle out and off to the side. And as you exhale, bend in the knees, heart in front of the nose, hands to blocks. Inhale, take the right leg back this time. Exhale, bring the right knee to the floor. Inhale once here, and then use the exhale for control to bring the left knee to join the right. And then move your hips to whichever side you wish. I always suggest the side that you are least comfortable with. And then slide yourself onto the floor into a supine position. Now I'm going to ask Dale, once she gets there on the floor, onto her back. Look how nicely she did that. No straining or scooching. It was a nice job. Dale, can you still reach one of your blocks? And put that block on the low side on your belly. So this is what I call a block breathing. If we stretch your legs out onto the floor comfortably, if they don't go comfortably, if that's difficult on your lower spine, they can stay bent. But if they are stretched out in front of you, what we want to do is use our proprioception to observe what happens to the block when we breathe. As you breathe in, the chest fills, the lung fills, and so does it seem like your belly. but it's really not the belly full of air. It is the lungs that are pushing space into the abdominal area. And then when you exhale, that block slowly sinks like a stone down into the center of a pond, towards the towards the front rather of your spine. Inhale, lift the block up. See if you can lift it up even a little bit higher. Stretch the palms out. And as you exhale, do that little movement we did to start with. Fold the fingers in and observe how the block will sink down to the front of the spine. Let's do one more like that, just real simple. Inhale, lift the block with your breath. And as you exhale, let the block sink as your fingers fold inward. Now, remove the block from Dale. And let's work with some other muscles of the body, as well as the breath. Let's just work with our feet and our legs. As you breathe in, you're going to point your toes forward. Still opening of the chest, which the lungs fill and the chest gets broad and wide, toes point forward. As you exhale, let that seem like the block's still on your belly, sinking, but the toes move up towards the belly. So the in-breath is a reaching of the toes away. It's actually a little bit of an arching of the spine, a little back bend here. And then as you exhale, soften the lower spine, let the toes point up towards the ceiling. Just one more like that. Very simple. Toes go forward as you breathe in. You feel just a slight lifting in your lower spine, tiny little back bend on that inhale, and the exhale, softening and relaxing the lower spine as the toes point up towards the ceiling. Now let's add in the arms. So on an in-breath, point the toes forward, reach the arms all the way up towards the ceiling, and maybe they come and float back behind you. If they don't touch the floor behind you, maybe come into a cactus pose. But as you exhale, bring the arms down onto either side and point those toes up towards the ceiling. So working with full body movement here, and the breath. Inhale, up and over, point the toes. Exhale, and down onto either side. Last one like that. Inhale, full body stretch, feels so good. And we can do it anytime, anywhere. Arms down onto your side, toes up towards the ceiling. Okay, now, one more nice little stretch here. And this one is designed not only to move the whole body and breathe, but to also emphasize the movement of lymph. Bend your right knee into your chest. Hold on either to the back of the thigh. And as you inhale here, point your left toes forward. As you exhale, use the exhale to find a way to switch your legs, pointing the right leg forward, the left knee in towards your chest. So we're moving with the exhale. That's where the big movement comes. That's where our power tool is. An inhale lets the right toes point forward, and the exhale switches the legs again. So remember, the inhale is just a time to hesitate and point. The exhale is when you switch your legs. Inhale, you've caught your leg, you point, and the exhale is the release to the opposite side. Inhale, point, exhale, and release as you switch legs. So it's a little different than maybe you do it in other circumstances, but it really works that groin in that movement. So keep going like this and remembering it's the hesitation on the inhale to point, and the exhale is a bigger movement as you move both legs in towards your chest. Maybe one more, ending on the left side. And then as you finish that last catch and release, bend your knees, bring your knees together, and then place your feet on the floor. Let your knees rest together and separate your feet about the width of your mat to wherever is comfortable. Bring your arms out if you have the space and do a modified T palms on the floor. It doesn't have to be a complete T. It can be a little less than T, wherever you're comfortable. But what we're going to do here, keeping as if the feet were Velcro to your mat, you're going to rock your knees from side to side. So inhale, plant the feet. Exhale, move your knees to one side. Inhale, bring to center. Exhale to the opposite side. Inhale, center, exhale. 2 more times like that. This is getting us close to our final knock-knee shavasana, but it is also a way to really stimulate and irrigate the abdominal muscles in and around our intestinal area. I find this so relieving to my lower back as well. So just side to side, should feel really good. Just making your legs, making your shins and thighs like seaweeds at the bottom of the ocean. And then finally, come to stillness. Finding stillness by allowing your knees to come together. You stretch your legs out if you wish. If you are comfortable here or have the props to come into a restorative shavasana with a blanket or a rolled blanket or bolster under your thighs, that's fine. Otherwise, just stay here. I find this and suggest this as a better place to be than a child's pose if you really want to rest. And guess what? You can do it anytime, anywhere. Perhaps now you might be able to recognize some of the areas of your body that you have been holding your breath rather than breathing. If that's true, let's do a real simple practice of finding a way to soften the breath, to minimize it, to where it's not even recognizable as an inhale and an exhale. Breathe in and release. Breathe in a little less and release a little more. Breathe in and release. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Roll from side to side. And then make your way up to sit however you choose. what brings us here together is yoga. How do we stay a community to build support through these rough times? We at Yoga4Cancer hope that by regularity of meeting like this, of using the technology that is available to us, that we can keep our community growing strong and healthy and happy. So bring your palms together in front of your heart and with me, let's take a collective Om. I wish we could all sing together, but it will just be my voice. On the in-breath, we breathe in. On the out-breath. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, Dale, for your well done asana practice. And I invite anybody to comment or say anything. I can't put on all of the mics, but I would love to. And next time we'll figure that out. In any case, I hope you've put something into the chat boxes and hope you will watch for notices of our next class, which I hope will be on Tuesday. Any feedback that you can give us will be welcome. Let's continue to build our Yoga4Cancer community.